Yesterday, I posted a video about whether it would be possible to cut down on our monthly expenses by moving to a cheaper home. Someone left a great question in the comments, and so today I want to answer it. Why don't you rent out your current home and then rent somewhere cheaper to live? This is actually something I have put a lot of thought into, not just as a way to save money, but also as a consideration if we ever needed to move for our jobs. Hiya, if you're new here, my name is Maddie and I talk about money, motherhood and my journey towards being a stay-at-home mum. So, first off, how much could I make per month renting out a £400,000 house in Bristol? Well, using our house as an example, I reckon we could get about £2,000 a month for it. For context, we live in a 3-bed mid-terraced house with a courtyard garden. If we were willing to make a big sacrifice on space and move to a 2-bed flat with no garden in the same city, but a slightly less nice area, we would be looking at paying around £1,400 a month in rent. So on the face of it looks like we could make £600 a month just by making this swap. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more complicated than that, as there are various costs that need to be taken out of the rental income from our home. First off, we need to pay estate agent management fees. These are a percentage of the monthly rent. They can vary depending on what service the estate agent provides, but let's take 10% for the sake of simplicity. This means we'll be paying £200 a month to the estate agent. Then we would also need landlord insurance instead of home insurance. Let's budget £20 a month for that. Both the estate agent fees and the insurance are allowable expenses, meaning that you can deduct them before paying tax on the rental income. So after these are deducted, we would have a taxable rental income of £1,780 per month. Rental income is added on top of your other income and taxed at your standard rate, depending on what tax bracket you fall into. It's worth noting that since the recent budget came out, from April 2027, slightly higher rental income tax rates will be introduced. But since they're not here yet, we will keep it simple and use the current rates for our calculations. So I own my house with my husband, so our income from the rental will be split equally between us and then taxed at our normal rate. My 50% share of the rental income is £890 a month. If I wasn't working or earning any other money, then this would fall into my tax-free personal allowance and I wouldn't pay any tax on this income. However, my husband is in the higher rate of tax as he earns over £50,000, so all of his income from the rental would be taxed at 40%. So his remaining income after tax from the rental property would be £534 per month. So our total income in our pockets from renting out our house would be £1,424 a month. That's just enough to cover the cost of the 2-bed flat we were looking at renting, and we wouldn't have saved a penny. If you additionally consider that to rent out our property, we would have to inform our mortgage provider and they would increase the interest on our mortgage by 1% for 1 year, which I estimate would cost us an additional £3,000 a year, it really doesn't make any financial sense to do this. I would also be concerned that it might be very difficult to get our home back once a tenant had made this house their home, and I would feel terrible asking someone to leave once they were settled in, so that we could end up stuck renting for a long time. If rents went up and if buy-to-let mortgage rates went up, we could easily end up in a scenario where we were losing money every month and not able to get out of the situation quickly. All of this to say, we will not be renting out our house to save money because when you do the maths, it really does not add up.